timer at? Oh, you're blocking it. Bobby, can you move your picture there because you're blocking the timer? Yeah, there you go. There you go.
That Shepherd Center one has been discontinued. They still have the link to the video. Oh, no, they got a new one. New one's out.
Okay, here we go. How you doing, everybody? Thanks for joining us today for another Rolling Over the Hill right here on the Live to Roll channel. And thanks to all of you for being part of the Live to Roll family. Before we get started, let's thank our sponsors, mobility professionals and urology professionals. They're very good at what they do, and that is providing the best in a variety of durable medical equipment and supplies, along with excellent customer service. So check them out. On today's show, we will be talking about healthy habits through the use of smart watches and other devices that can help keep track of your fitness and overall well-being. We'll also discuss nutrition and the apps for maintaining a proper diet. So please make sure to include your questions, comments, and views in the chat, and don't forget to hit that like button. Hello, everyone. My name is Robert Soto. I'm a T12 spinal cord injury from a motorcycle racing accident 51 years ago. So let's get started and say hello to my co-hosts, Bobby and Paul. Paul, what's going on?
Hey, welcome everybody. My name is Paul. I'm a C56 quad. 41 years this past Monday.
Wow.
41 years was
Congrats.
my new life day. I kind of forgot about it, actually.
Yeah, I didn't say anything on Monday when I saw you.
Well, you know what? I thought about it, and then we got talking about other stuff with the workout group, and I completely forgot. I actually just thought about it today. I was looking at the calendar for something and go, oh, yeah.
It snuck by you.
Yeah. So, been kicking around with spinal cord injury for a while as a C56 quad, and great to be here today. Bobby, take it away.
What's up, everybody? First, I'm going to say hi to everybody out there. We got 9 people already watching, loving it, 3 likes. Ben said it. Make sure you smash that like button, please. Grandma's in the house. Ben, we got Derek. Derek, I don't think you were with us on Tuesday. You might have been at an appointment or something. And Debbie from Austin, welcome in, welcome in. And for anybody else, I didn't catch their name. Hope you're doing well out there. I'm Bobby Rohan. I'm a C5, C6 quadriplegic of not quite as long as these old geezers, but 36 years. And somehow, no, I'm enjoying life.
And Chad is away today, so he'll be back with us in a couple weeks.
Oh, that guy? Yeah, I forgot about him already.
Yeah. So what you guys been up to? What's been going on?
Oh.
Go ahead, Paul. You first.
Lots of stuff's been going on, good, bad. Otherwise, my hand cycle is still broken. I ordered some parts for it, but the parts weren't the right parts. Now I got to order more parts, and they're coming from Germany. So losing my hand cycle days here when the weather's so nice, but hoping to get that up and running pretty soon.
You only get like, what, 10 days up in Canada where it's not the weather?
Oh, yeah, never mind. Can we mute that guy? I get a total of 11 solid days at least.
11.
Oh, there's a few months left yet, but
Yeah.
kind of missing my bike right now. Watching Bobby put on the miles through through some of the apps we're going to talk about today.
Mm-hmm.
We get to follow each other, even though we're like 3 or 4 days drive away from each other. So that's pretty cool. There's some of this technology we're going to dive into. So.
Yeah, most definitely. A little frustrated with, I was talking about it on the last show. Bladder management is always, something we're going to be talking about more and more, or always do. I shouldn't say more and more, but, and I had a urologist appointment that was on the schedule. So it was great. Got to see my urologist today. Talked about, showing him, something I found called limit or element. Sorry, element. LMNT. It's basically basically salt in a package, but it's got sodium, magnesium, and calcium. Oh, I'm doing that wrong. Not calcium.
I was just looking at it the other day. I was just looking at it today. No, it's not calcium. It's
You got to remember it for me. Dang it. But whatever.
So I got carbohydrates stuck in my head, and that's not what
and from Tuesday's show, they people were talking about maybe it's more because I'm taking more salt, but we drink a lot of water, and my sodium is always low. My doctor's always saying drink less water. What happens when you drink less water? You get more UTIs and the cloudiness, and then stinkorama every time I take a piss, and so it's this fine balance. So I think it was Leon that might have mentioned it, and somebody else. I'm drawing a blank, but about flushing my tube. So we talked about that. So my doctor's ordering something, besides the vinegar and water to flush my tube and see if that kind of helps. Said see him in 6 months. And if you have to change the catheter often, said once a week isn't that bad. Especially if you're doing once a week, which I am. And at one time there used to be where I can go, 6 weeks and then kind of go, oh crap, I should be changing my tube and change it. And now, I can't even get by. And so it's fine. And I'm not getting any more UTIs by changing it more often, because that's always the problem. If you change it a lot, then just like anything, you have more of a risk to, for UTIs. But other than that, going through life, finding out how vulnerable we can be. When my wife went down and she broke her hip 5 weeks ago, she's helping me out with with a lot of stuff. With a lot of times she helps me with my transfers in and out of our bed. When we got a new bed, I never lowered it because she's like, I just rather help you if you're okay with that. And I was fine. So our bed's a little bit higher than what I like. And when getting in, getting out is easier because now I'm going down, but getting in. So finding out that little problem, she was helping me out with some other stuff of my care, showers and stuff. So finding somebody new is always an experience of, that's about it. But found some help and working out good. So, you just find out how vulnerable and how fast things can change on a dime.
Yeah.
I'm sure everybody knows that with their caregivers, if they call in sick a day or just stop coming. So,
yeah.
How about you?
I kind of experienced some of that too this week with my wife, like yours, helps me a lot too, and she's had some stuff going on too with her. She's got cancer and she's got some more treatments coming up here that are going to be a little nasty. So trying to figure out some of that stuff too. So it kind of blindsides you. You just never know.
Yeah, and then when it blindsides you, it's like, oof.
Yeah.
Tough. So, Derek, you asked about, is that electric light? Yes. It's my favorite one that I've tried. It's got a bunch of different flavors. It even has a chocolate, um, three different types of chocolate with like one's a mint, one's something else that you can put into your coffee. And if you're a coffee drinker like me, so I have one in the morning, one in the afternoon, sometimes even a third one when I'm out on the road riding my bike, especially how much I've ridden this week, which in 7 days I've ridden 140 miles. So
Wow.
that's a lot
Good
of,
stuff.
not
That's good
sweating.
stuff.
It still drains you, so you got to be careful. But Derek, it's called Element, and it without the vowels, just LMNT. So M is in Mary and N is in Nancy. T. It's kind of what I've been drinking, and I love it. So
It's sodium, potassium, and magnesium is what it's got.
potassium. That's what I was. It's the banana thing. That's how I kind of try to always remember it. The banana is potassium. So, um,
So along those lines, I know you like that one. I was looking at another one there um, today too. Has anybody heard of liquid IV or used liquid IV?
yeah,
Looking at
I've
that,
heard
it's
of it.
very
I've
similar.
heard of it, but I don't know the
yeah.
whole story
I don't
behind it.
like the taste as much for the liquid IV. There's that one and Noom, and
Noom, I've used
Yeah.
Noom. I quite like Noom. The reason I was asking about liquid IV is because it's on sale now on Prime Days.
oh yeah. Are you having Prime Days too? No.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Oh, I thought because the watch wasn't on Prime Day, or you can't get it up.
No, they don't have that watch. Wasn't on Prime Day. They've got a couple of versions before that on Prime Day. They got 10. It's not even the full 10. It's the 10 LX or EX or something is the one that's on sale right now on
Yeah,
Prime Days.
that's cool.
They don't have the Ultra on there at all. So
And
or
before
on
we get into our topic, sorry to cut you off, Paul, real quick.
no.
How about you, Robert? How you been?
I've been good. Just taking it easy. We got a family thing going on this weekend, so um, have a family coming into town and everything like that. So it's a celebration of life for my brother-in-law who passed away. But I've been helping with that. My sisters and things like that, or my nieces are really stepping up and helping my sister. So yeah, things are going pretty good. I'm taking it a little bit easier. This weekend, I just kind of took it easy. Shoulders were kind of just you know bother me, not excruciating pain or anything. It was just that there was just an annoyance there. So I figured with the weather, it's just hot because I don't mind the heat, but doing anything in the heat, when you just to get out and start doing your errands, I go, man. So I just took a couple days off and gave my body a rest, and got back at it on Monday. And so yeah, it's been a good week. I've been feeling okay. Um, Using air conditioning, going from air conditioning to air conditioning because it's just and I always have been a heat person, because it makes my body feel good. It's just that I don't have the stamina, endurance to do things in the heat.
Yeah,
I don't. I'll go out in the backyard, sit in the sun, get a little vitamin D and all that, but not as long as I used to. I get in. I'll go, okay, that's enough, and get right back into the air conditioning. So I'm getting spoiled by air conditioning nowadays.
yeah. We definitely get spoiled that way, but I'm still not. I still don't want it in my house yet. But I
Yeah,
but I can get by with the ocean air here. We do need
yeah,
it for one room, and that's where I put it.
yeah.
So we're talking about, we were, I think, was this 2 weeks ago or sometime we were talking about um, the iWatch. Kind of, we brought it up, and
Mhm.
how kind of like just talking about the supplement of drinking liquid IV or the limit or element. I always call it limit element, or whatever you may use for that for the hydration. It's you might even want to keep track of what you're doing and how much water intake. But then we were talking about the watch and how to keep motivated and all that good stuff. So we brought up the iWatch, and so let's just start there for any of you Apple users. For those who don't know, Apple and the Apple iWatch has come out with some great uses for a person with a disability. I should just put it that way. I almost said spinal cord, but anybody with a disability, in the sense that, we have uh, they have some assistive touches built within that, meaning so you can program certain taps or drags. So you know how you have to, like, if you want to expand a screen, you can reprogram your phone with that touch as more of a um, one finger will blow it up and one finger will blow it down, or decrease it, I should say. And there's a lot of other features that you can assistive typing. Also, when it rings, it will announce who's calling or automatically pick it up for anybody who's ventilator users or don't have the use of their hands. It will automatically pick up for you, and I think that's been around for a while, which nowadays can be annoying with all the scam calls that go on. And then, getting into the iWatch. Well, let me just put it this way: the health app in the Apple comes with a health app, and it's a great way to keep track of your meds, heart rate, blood pressure, all kinds of things. So, and what does that mean? So, your doctor's like, so how's everything going? You can talk about, hey, it's going like this, and you can show them the history. So, a blood pressure cuff I got for my to keep track of that it automatically puts it into that healthy app, or health app. It was, a Bluetooth sense, and put it on my arm, take my blood pressure, and then on my phone through the app, it will show me my blood pressure and heart rate, but it stored it in that app. So that was a nice feature. But if you don't have that special blood pressure with the Bluetooth technology, then you can just manually put it. So your, aide or family member or yourself take your heart rate, then you can store it in there. And it's a great way to track your blood pressure and how it's been going. Also heart rate and anything like that. And another great feature out of that health app is also knowing your meds. So you go to your doctors and, like, what meds are you on? Or when you go to even the hospital, what meds have you been taking? And you can store all that with the milligrams, all of it categorized, how much it's taking. So there's a certain portion in that health app that you can input that, and it can also send you reminders. So
You're using yours like a lot.
Yeah, I mean,
and not
I,
only
I don't, I don't even have a smartwatch. I've
and,
been
and
thinking about getting one, but
this is not even through the watch yet. This is just on your iPhone, pure, and
Yeah.
I'm sure Android base has that too. And
yeah,
I don't know if you've seen it on your side, Robert, who's
yeah.
not.
I use an app called List Meds, and so I enter all my meds in there, and this way it allows me to print from my phone. So whenever I go to the doctor's office, they always want what meds you on. I just give them a sheet of paper and it lists it, how many milligrams, how many times I take it a day, and all that. So that's what's on my phone. It's called List Meds, and that's for Android. I don't know if it's available.
And it's kind of like the same thing in the
Yeah,
app of iPhone. And then it
yeah,
also has your emergency contacts. And
yeah, yeah,
you can also program where, let's say, you're in a parking lot, you get hit by a car, you're out cold. Paramedic knows how to pick up a phone, and an Apple phone, and they don't have to get into your phone. They can push a button and find out your medical conditions.
yeah,
Um,
yeah.
so mine would come up that I'm a C5. I have it explained in notes what my dysreflexia does to me, and what it is. And then they can also look at the meds that I'm on and all that great features. Just as, somebody clicking your phone and it coming up.
Now, do you guys carry anything, like on you or on your chair, or with that, that talks about
Dysreflexia.
AD? Yeah.
I
So
have
you guys,
I have a card
yeah, okay.
for what it's worth. I don't.
Yeah.
I mean, I've given it to somebody at an emergency room once, and he's like, "Oh, yeah, okay," and
Yeah.
handed it right back to me. I mean,
Yeah. Yeah. But yeah, no, I'm interested in the smartwatches. I'm an Android person, so you obviously I have Samsung Galaxy stuff, but I because I don't have anything on my phone other than the couple of apps there, but because I monitor my heart rate, blood pressure, and things like that. I just do that because I've been doing it for years. Kind of been dealing with that, but so I do have a Fitbit that I used for a while, and I found that um, there's things on that that helped me. I was mostly curious to see what my heart rate and all it does when I'm sleeping. So things like that are kind of interesting on that. But what I want a smartwatch for is to kind of track, my heart rates and things like that throughout the day. And I want to primarily use it for a smart drive that I use for apps like that. So I just get confused in terms of the functionality that smartwatches have because there's Apple, there's Garmin, there's Samsung. I mean, there's all kinds of them out there. But so I was asking Bobby earlier today. So the apps that you can download onto your watch, but you can say not all of them are downloadable onto a smartwatch, right?
only if the app has made it accessible for the watches. So
Okay.
sometimes you might like, um, there's, oh God.
Well, I mean, it's obviously they're coming out with more and more because that's more
Mhm.
of an interest. People want to know. And, once you do get into that pattern, it's like me, if I get into some type of, get in sync with something I'm trying to do, when you have something like on your phone or something like that, that you're entering something that you ate or you kind of try to track your diet, because I'm up and down with, I'll go a couple months and go, okay, I'm doing this and this, or tracking my blood sugar and just things like that. And so when you have a device or an app or something like that, it kind of keeps you motivated, and it kind of gives you that sense of routine, and and it makes a difference. If I think I'm, you know, um, this a little too much sodium for me or whatever, because I got to watch sodium. I mean, I track stuff, and then it kind of gives you readings and things like that. So I these devices and apps and everything. I mean, definitely have a place. It just depends on how dedicated you get to them, because they can have you help you create that routine, and also might challenge you. If you share some of your information with a group or whatever, and you kind of all get in a competition, it kind of I mean, it also makes it fun too.
Hmm. I just one quick question, Clark. I think you're meaning you have CP, or do I have CP? So uh, I just thought that was kind of funny. I'm like, I don't know if you have CP, uh, but uh, I'm sure you're stating you have CP, which I'm sure there's a lot of things that you need to track. Also, kind of maybe strength and stuff like that. It sounds like Debbie's getting a lot from her watch, because and that's the next part that I think we're moving into is like the watches and what the watch can track. Kind of like, um, for Paul and I, we're kind of big users on the rings itself. So you have these rings in Apple Watch where it tracks if how many minutes that you've exercised, how many when you do exercise, you go to the fitness part of it. You state, oh, I'm going to do a jump rope, and if you do it for 20 minutes, it will calculate a certain amount of burn calories, and then tell you, okay, you burned 100 calories by doing this. And for anybody just going, wait, I can't jump rope. Well, no, there's just the movement of jump roping is an exercise that you can do from home and allow yourself a little bit of exercise. There's on YouTube, there's lots of boxing types of videos, and turn on the boxing part on your watch, and you'll get a certain burn calorie. And then the last one is kind of like a move calorie, like when you've been kind of sitting a little bit too long, and it will kind of prompt you to like, hey, move around.
Yeah, again, it'll give you a reminder. I don't know if it must be default, but mine's set that 10 minutes to the hour every hour. If I haven't moved, if I'm in my office working and haven't moved, that'll get a little bling to, hey, start moving your body a little bit here.
Yep.
Then you can set those roll hours and those calories and those move hours.
To hit a certain goal.
yeah, to hit a certain goal, however you want. You can start at one level and build from there, which is kind of cool. And then there's the little rewards you can get to if you even if you get. I've got my one ring set for if I do 10 move hours a day, then I closes that particular ring. Or if you do, actually, there's monthly challenges. There's all kinds of different challenges and stuff. It's really cool. I don't think the calories are accurate for myself. Whatever it says for calories, I kind of cut that in half for actual calories because it is built for able-bodied people. And just talking to some nutritionalists and stuff a little bit about actual calories burned versus what the watches are saying. But saying that, at least you know that, right? And at least it gives you something to go by. You've got some kind of a guide, which I find really, really helpful.
And Derek, yeah, I think which Android does make one, and I forget exactly the name of it, but
Yeah,
it's
well,
around.
yeah,
There's Garmin that is Android
and
based.
there's a bunch of different ones that are Android based.
Yeah, so
Yeah,
finding the iWatch is Apple, and then there's a few out there that makes it for Android based. That and a lot the Garmin ones are probably the better ones that if you're thinking about tracking fitness and things like that to use. Now it might not be with the Garmin. The only thing I don't know is on some of the other app stuff, like on my
mm,
iWatch, because I have the Apple TV box where I run my TV, meaning my streaming apps. And if I didn't have my phone around or I didn't have my iPad around to control my TV for the remote part, I can actually do it from my watch. The only part is annoying is if I forget to close that app and then I move my arm around, all of a sudden my TV pauses or it goes off the off something. I'm just like shoot, So make sure you close that. And you might not get some of the other notifications that like text messages or a phone call. Like I'll get phone calls on my watch as long as my phone is right there, within distance. Um, but you can
yeah,
even pay for it as as you can leave your phone at home and you'll get all your phone calls and text
yeah.
messages. I don't think people use that as much, but
And just as a bit of a warning, if you hang out with Bobby long enough, you'll end up going Apple. I started, I
yeah,
started Android. I was like you, Robert. I still have my Samsung phone sitting on my desk here because
I yeah.
I love Android. And then I got started hanging out with this character here, and it's like, oh, we got to go Apple. I haven't got it, so then I have to get an Apple Watch because I
well,
want to get into the challenges and stuff. It's really motivational, actually.
and what actually became motivational too is that so Paul and I share our fitness. Like anytime I do a workout, he
Yeah,
sees that I did something, and then he can give me like maybe a thumbs up or a little saying, or just find out if I worked out today. And he can kind of like,
Yeah.
hey, what's
Well,
going on?
and that's what thing that's what gives you that routine and what makes it enhances the experience with it because you're sharing your information. You kind of develop a little competitiveness there, and so yeah, it helps. It
We
helps a
can
lot.
even challenge each other to
Yep.
a fitness duel for a week,
yeah,
and you know, like a little competition between us, so you can even challenge somebody. But it's also a way to say, "Way to go! Keep up the good work."
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah.
Well, too, for me,
Oh,
when I was having those bladder issues and all that, I went and bought. Thermos has this smart bottle, smart water bottle, and it's the lid that's actually,
hmm
it gives you all the information, and it has an app on your phone, and you can set it for reminders on when you want to, to make sure you're staying hydrated, how much water you want to drink for the day. You can establish the whole thing, and it'll let you know, and it tracks everything and how you're doing. Because I was doing that just to kind of help me maintain. So I was just trying to keep that fluid in me, and with the bladder, and it worked pretty good. But then I stopped using once everything was okay. But I was looking at it today, and yeah, it's still pretty good because you set your own goals in terms of how many ounces of water you want to drink and how often it should take, and it tracks it for the day, for the week, and so yeah, so there's things out there like that as well. And I just was looking here on one of these apps here the fitness trackers, because they talk about Fitbit and Apple that can monitor heart rate, movement, sleep patterns, uh, even with limited mobility. So it's not a problem to use your smartwatch, right? I mean, for your Apple and all that.
Yeah. Yeah, some of these trackers are available for both your phone and your watch.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, and a lot of like, so you want to talk about some of the things that you found doing a little bit of your research with healthy apps out there, Robert?
Yeah, yeah. There's some apps, and then Paul did mention one. There was Noom, and that's mostly a nutrition education and psychology. It works a lot with that, and behavior-based coaching, mini lessons, and habit formation tools. So I mean, I've heard of it before, but I never even looked at it. So I kind of opened my eyes with all these apps here. There's an app called My Plate Calorie Counter, and that's overall nutrition tracking, simple interface, meal plans, recipes, workouts, and supportive community. So it's all in this app.
Yeah.
Plate Joy. Have you guys heard of Plate Joy? There's because I mean, this is out of my lifestyle here. This stuff, and it's meal planning and customization, and so personalized meal plates based on lifestyle, dietary needs, and cooking habits. So I mean, that really is what I know for me I need it, because uh, I'll go a week and watching what I eat and all that, and I do feel better, but then I fall off the wagon and I go back to my habits, and so I'm kind of up and down all the time. So probably one of these apps that are on this list would help me, because I'm the type of person that once I get a routine going with it and all that, I stick to it, and I challenge myself on it. So I think for any of you out there that are kind of like same way I am, it does help. It encourages you. It establishes your routine. It establishes your consciousness of what you're eating, or because my thing is all about portion. I don't I don't eat healthy, but if I can watch my portions, I'm okay. But I got to maintain that. There's another here called uh, Eight Food Journal. It's mindful eating. It's a visual food journaling, habit experiments, and emotional tracking. So, again, you got to just kind of check these out to see if they're for you or not. NutriSense, blood sugar and metabolic health, real-time glucose tracking, expert coaching, and lifestyle insights. That's a lot for people with pre-diabetes or diabetic or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
So there's a lot of them out there. And then there's Food Educate, food quality and education, nutrition grading system, healthier alternatives, and lifestyle tracking. So there's a lot. I mean, you can go to the list. The list is endless. But the thing here, it says when you're to choose the right app, it says to define your goals. Are you aiming for weight loss, better energy, or managing a condition? So you got to kind of take that into mind. Consider your lifestyle. Some apps are better for home cooks other than frequent diners. Look for expert-backed content. Apps vetted for dietitians or healthcare professionals are ideal. And check customization options, especially important if you are allergic or dietary restrictions, where you can customize them and have it programmed for what your needs are. But yeah, there's a lot out there, and like I said, it's just my thing is, like I said, I don't, like I said, I don't have a watch. I mean, I want to get a smartwatch, but I just don't know what I need. But there's a couple of things by me looking at this, I got to find out. And just got to keep talking to people. I have watches. I'm a watch guy. I mean, I have
You have a
100. Yeah, I have 150 watches that I collected over the years, and nothing is close to a smartwatch. I don't have it. Yeah, it's all the old, just I've been doing that for years. But yeah, I do want to get one. I'm ready for one, and I do want to track some of my health issues that I have that I deal with, just to make sure my heart rates are good, my blood pressure is okay, and
So
that's important to me.
the one thing that I haven't seen a lot of is blood pressure. Some people
Yeah,
think can that
yeah,
take your blood pressure. No, it's not going to take your blood pressure, but
heart rate and stuff like
it
that,
will do
pulse.
rate. It's even got an EKG for anybody who has.
Yeah, yeah, I saw there's one on here. Yeah, Well, but the thing is because there's apps that I look on my phone, where you get your finger and you place it on the camera and all that, and it does. But
Yeah.
I mean, I know it's a start, but
Yeah, I don't think
I
it.
don't
Yeah,
trust in that.
I
You
wouldn't
know,
use it either. And even I asked my cardiologist, I can keep my EKG tracking, on my watch, and he just went, I just don't.
yeah,
I can't, can't say how reliable it is,
yeah,
but
yeah,
hey, I know that he goes. I've read that where people knew they were an AFib. For anybody who has AFib, it will track, and it tells me every week. Your AFib
yeah,
has been lower than 2%, which means probably not detected, or if you did, it did not come above a 2% average of irregular heartbeat. So that was kind of cool. But there is something out there now, and it's not a watch. It just looks like you're wearing a bracelet almost but like a watch band with no watch. Okay. And it's got a little cube there, kind of like the old Fitbits. Um, and so it's called Whoosh or Whoop, WHOOP. And then I think it has an S at the end. Um, so that one, if you're watching the Tour de France right now, the commercials are on, and it's a fitness tracker as well. So that one said that it has blood pressure. What was the word they used? Uh, Blood pressure monitoring. So I guess this device can kind of gauge that if your blood pressure has been running high or running too low. Um, I'm going to look more into it. And
yeah,
it's something you can wear that, you see all the results on your phone through an app. And
yeah.
it says you only have to charge it once every 14 days.
That's pretty cool.
So
Well,
it's not doing some
Debbie
of the
said,
things that the iWatch and the Garmin's um,
yeah,
are doing.
yeah.
Yeah.
Well, Debbie says that she has one that does blood pressure, heart rate, pulse, blood sugar, and sleep, monitors her sleep. So see, that's kind of like what I'm looking for, something like that, just to,
Yeah, so it's something to look into and and go from there. Paul, what did you find?
Well, just kind of tacking on a little bit to what Robert was saying there. One that I'd used quite a lot, I think I used it for about 2 years, was my Fitness Pal. And it's a nutrition one as well, or a food one, where I was monitoring food intake and stuff. And that really helped me a lot. That was kind of started that 2021, and I think I used it, I don't know, at least till 2023. Um, and it really helped me kind of dial in some of my diet, or not my eating habits, healthy eating habits, not a diet in particular, but just healthy eating habits. And I lost quite a bit of weight over from using that too. It was really helpful. One thing that I did notice, and like you were saying, Robert, is you got to make sure they're customizable, because the settings in it were set for an able-bodied person,
yeah,
but
right.
you go in and tweak it, and then you just have to do some research on, whatever your disability happens to be. Mine's a spinal cord injury, quadriplegic, 58 years old, so I had to kind of dial in what my caloric intake should be, looking at
Right,
macros
right.
and micronutrients and stuff like that. But once you figure that out and kind of get it dialed in, then it worked really well. And what I also noticed was, I guess because I don't have a lot of really creative eating things, if I was going to do taco salad, well, the taco salad I do is pretty much the same every time. So
Yeah,
once I
yeah,
put in the whole taco salad, then the next time I have it, I just have to click on it once. I don't have to input everything
yeah.
and again and again. So that was kind of cool where you could add that stuff. So that was just kind of adding on to what you were saying there. But there's lots of apps out there too that are designed specifically for people with spinal cord. The spinal cord injuries ones is the one that I've seen. Spine Alley is kind of a bigger one or a newer one that's out right now. And I know they were doing some research on it, and I think it does a lot. It has a lot of components to it. And I got to be honest, I haven't really dove into any of these
Is
a
that
whole lot.
for eating habits? The spine.
No, that's more just a spinal cord injury app where it's got it can track your health, your meds. Um, it's got a bunch of tools in there. It's got education stuff in there. I think it's the one that also um, can connect you with other people.
Yeah, yeah.
I'm getting it mixed up, but there was a few different ones I was
Well,
looking at.
there's so many things, and there are some overlaps and all that stuff. It's like one of the things that I'm also concerned with is my sleep hygiene, or my sleep
Mhm.
habits. Because I don't sleep good. I mean, we had that, a few weeks ago on the show where we talk about sleep quality and all that, and that's so I'd like to see what they come up with, the watch comes up with or the app, whatever that um, gives me some type of insight into my sleep quality.
That's the only
Yeah.
thing I'm disappointed about my Apple Watch is that um, because I don't actually get out of bed, but
Yeah,
I'm just wrestling a little bit or
yeah,
just
yeah,
awake. It doesn't know that I'm awake. So it's like, oh, you got great job on your sleep. You got 8 hours. I'm like, no, he didn't.
yeah, yeah, exactly.
Um,
It's like three. I get like three,
right.
man.
There's,
You have a sensor on your eyeballs so that when you open your eyeball, it means you're
yeah.
awake.
But there's,
Yeah. How does it detect it? How
well,
can it
I
establish
don't know,
the?
but there's one called the Ring. So you
Mhm.
wear a ring, and it's just like the other one. It's there's nothing readable except through the app, and it
Yeah.
tracks a lot of that, heart
Okay.
rates and blood pressure trends. And one thing, Debbie, you said you have a watch that can do your blood pressure. I'm just curious
Yeah.
which watch or
Yeah, what kind of
device
watch?
it might be.
'Cause
Uh,
everything she has there is what I need. I'd like to
yeah,
have that. You
Yeah,
know.
that's what Derek said. That's what I need. But so if you can put that in, but the Ring is the same way, and I heard that one is the best to track your sleep
Yeah.
because
Okay.
I'm like, if I actually didn't move around for a minute, then it's thinking I'm still asleep by just turning it. I'm like, no, I'm just laying there with I can see the trend in my heart rate though. So throughout the night, I look at my heart rate and then I can tell when I've been up.
Yeah.
So that's how I kind of look at it. But I've always
Okay.
been thinking of getting into that Ring just uh, for those things. And Derek, the price for Apple Watches can range anywhere from right now, maybe Amazon has it for $299, the
Yeah,
low
that's what I was
end,
gonna say.
but it still
I was
does
looking
a
at them.
lot. It still does a lot, and then up to $899 for, and right now it's $699 for what I have, which is the Ultra 2. And the reason why I have Ultra 2 is, you know, banging. I hit my watch around a lot, and I was just telling this to Paul that my older watch, the way I wear it, I like to wear it on the inside like this because it's easier for me to do the touch screen when I'm touching and the dial and all that. With less hands, it's for some reason when it's like this, I'm like trying to do everything and try to look at it by holding my arm in this position because we're, so supinated uh, that it's harder to pronate for me to really look at it and do what I want out of it. So, but and so this new Ultra 2, the screen is amazing. That I don't have one scratch on it. It just where I was scratching the heck out of my everyday ones. So
I'm still using the 6 SE, so I'm a few generations behind, but it still works. Ah,
Yeah.
yeah, the Apple Watches. If you can, I don't know. Has anybody used a refurbished one? Like
no,
I don't know what they'd be like if they a refurbished Apple Watch would be like.
Yeah,
What that?
because that's a significant price drop on some of those.
Yeah,
But they classify the refurbished. Sometimes it's excellent, refurbished, good, or whatever. So
yeah,
yeah,
and as a Walmart, I see a lot of generic Apple stuff, and probably I'm sure Android stuff as well. They have a lot. So, and Debbie says the iOS generic can be under $15 with shipping, but Terms has Timu has them for less. Um, is that if you get a plan, or I'm not sure? $15, that's really cheap.
Yeah.
And then I'm gonna have Shawn, um, who's not with us today, put in our description for anyone who wants to look at it. I found two websites. One is through a website called Trend Able that gives me 25 of, what does it say here? 25 life changing apps for people with disabilities. I'm going to go off real quick. Remember the milk. People who have a hard time remembering things with, they said brain fog. Access now, for places you can, like restaurants and museum bars, stores, if they're accessible for people with disabilities. Full service. This is an awesome one. It's not really healthy, but it tells you where the gas stations are with full service. Um, this one I thought was funny. Curable, for anybody out there with chronic pain. And I love this one. Curable is like having a reassuring best friend in your back pocket. Her name is Claire. Claire is a virtual pain coach. Interacts with you by sending messages, activity resources, and funny gifts. The app was created for people who suffer with chronic pain themselves, which is why it feels like you're interacting with someone who gets it. I just thought that was like, wow, a cool little app for people with chronic pain.
Yeah.
Helps, get you through the day. The other one was what you talked about, Paul, my Fitness Pal. Instacart for anybody that doesn't know. Um, One is called Ice, and not the ice we're thinking about that's going on, but this is for in case of emergency. And then it just has a bunch. Sleep Cycle one app. Uh, I guess it can balance your hormones. So if you don't get enough sleep every night, your body will have a hard time healing and repairing heart, blood vessels, balancing your hormones, maintaining your blood sugar levels, amongst other many other issues. The best way to get a good night's sleep is to understand the reasons why you weren't getting any in the first place. Sleep Cycle tracks your quality of sleep as well as your sleeping heart rate. Everybody knows, if you don't know, on the Apple phone has assistive touch buttons, but we're going to talk about that and the assistive devices, how it can help you. Um, so there's just a bunch of other, like there's a few one, and I didn't see it there, but it's called, for anybody who wants to get out in the great outdoors, is My Trail Link, I think it's called. I just want to make sure.
Yeah. I think that's it.
Is that
Yeah, I think I have that on the list here too somewhere.
it?
Yeah. Or all trails. Is it my?
No, yeah, no, this one just says Trail Links.
Yeah.
Um, and what's cool about that is I found a bunch of accessible trails um, all around my area that I can take that have been rated with accessibility. And then I don't know if you want to talk about Strava, um, Paul.
Yeah. So Strava's, I really like Strava too, and it's something you can link with friends as well, where you can track and it'll sync with your Apple Watch or your Garmin, or any Android. It probably actually works better with Android than it does with Apple, but there's different maps and stuff. It has, you can build your own path you want to go down. If you want to build your own course you want to do, your own map, or if you're just going on a generic one, it'll map it for you. You'll see it when you're done. You'll see your distance. If it downloads the stuff from your watch, it'll tell you distance, calories. I can tell you, well, it'll tell you a whole bunch of stuff depending on the activity you're doing. So you can do it for pushing. You can do it for hand cycling. You can do it for water sports. If you're out kayaking, I've used it for kayaking as well. So it's just really kind of cool. It keeps track of all kinds of data. I'm using the free one right now, and it's pretty decent. I know, Bobby, you subscribe for it, and you've got even more stuff on yours.
Mm-hmm.
It
More,
even,
it keeps track of your month, your year, kind of
yeah,
working tips, and some other littler features. But the free works just great too. And
the free one's been working awesome. So,
yeah,
uh,
and you can keep track. If you're going out for a push, all you have to do it's got a wheelchair mode. So
yeah,
in that
yeah,
wheelchair mode, you can go out. It has e-bike or biking, so it keeps track of that way. If you want to put in your workouts, you can keep track of that way. And then it's kind of like your Instagram or Facebook, I guess you can say. It's interactive with your friends and put up pictures and things like that. And your friends can give you, thumbs up and all that good comment on anything. So it's
and it's nice because it does sync with your other devices that you're using, right?
Yeah.
yeah.
Um,
So
but if you don't have a watch, you don't need to have a watch because you can just use it as well.
you just
Um,
hit the start button. It keeps track of how many
yeah,
miles you're going, how fast you're going, how long, distance. Like it took, if you did every day a half a mile, you can see how well it improves over time of doing that half a mile push.
Yeah. Yeah.
and I mean, even a little addition to that, and this is kind of beyond Strava, but it's something both Bobby and I have for our cycling is a GPS, um, a little GPS unit that's on our bikes. But with that, and that's through, I believe it's through Garmin because it's Garmin Connect. If Bobby goes for a ride, I can actually follow his ride live.
Oh, that's cool. I
That's
like that.
very, yeah, yeah. So I mean, like I said, we're what 3, 4 days apart from each other for a drive,
Yeah.
driving,
But yeah.
a
Um,
couple thousand miles apart, but you can still see that. So it's very cool.
Nicole, I'll give you a little free plug if you can put the description about your class on Saturday and how people can contact you, because that's a part of being healthy. And which brings me up is, yeah, Ken's asking about what the class is. So Nicole, if you can put that in and talk a little bit about it. Um, and then also, about being healthy, right? What do we, and I think it was Debbie mentioned that something she loves about the watch and something that anybody, where did she put? Oh, here we go. So she goes, I also love the breathing part on the watch too. And then Ken asked, or Derek asked, what that was. And so on the watch, for Apple Watch, and I don't know about the other ones, it has mindfulness. So you can set it that every hour it can remind you that, hey, take a minute to breathe,
Yeah,
or do something mindfulness. And what you can feel is like you can set it for a minute, 2 minutes, 3 minutes of breathing. And so I usually set it for 2 minutes for once a day. And I take that moment and I breathe in and it will start vibrating. And then you breathe out and you can watch it like do a little something on your watch. It looks like, oh, how do you explain it, Paul?
kind of like a balloon blowing up and
Yeah,
flat.
yeah. And it sparkles when you blow out and shrinks when you blow in or it's sucked in. So, and then you can also put like, it asks you, how are you feeling today? And type in, no, I am having a crappy day. So you can kind of keep track of your mindfulness over a month period of time or each day that, you can write something like, no, having a bad pain day because it's hot outside. And you can kind of keep track of maybe that was it, or I did not get enough sleep. And so you can keep track of those kind of things within that mindfulness of the watch.
There's so much stuff out there, and it's
Yeah. Yeah.
I guess a bit of a caution, which I've fallen into. kind of a trap is getting too obsessed with it, and taking it too far, and then it just gets annoying. And then I get frustrated with it because I'll give you an example. So in June, there was a monthly challenge, and I had to do 20 some odd workouts in June. I had not workouts. I thought it was workouts, but it was close all my rings 20 some odd times. And I had a few things going on in June, and I was one short. No, I was two short. And I thought, well, I'm going to be able to do 2 workouts on the last day of June, and I'm going to finish that challenge. Well, the last day of June comes, I do my workout, close all my rings, and then I look at my challenge, and it's close all my rings, not workouts. Well, you can only close all your rings once a day. But I had 2 days left, and I was on the last day of June.
Oh man.
Oh, that. So, I had to jump into that mindfulness app and do some breathing after that one. That was so frustrating.
But thinking of the mindfulness, also just a couple little things. There's a bunch of other like calm and white noise. There's one called Stop, Breathe, and Think. Audible, listening to books. Those who have like uh, allergic, being allergic to something, there's something called Talk Dirty for people with chronic illness and disease community who lead completely natural and organic lifestyle and believe strongly that the products we use can be toxic and serve to worsen off our symptoms and conditions. Jeez. Um, so I thought that was kind of a cool little app to keep track of that kind of
Yeah.
stuff.
Bobby, because you listen to music, right? That helps you like calm and all that stuff, right?
I
Do you
have,
use that?
yeah, I do. I do meditation through
Yeah.
either my fitness app or through YouTube.
Yeah, because I know there's that I know comment. There's also one that I just checked out on my phone a few weeks ago is Headspace also supposed to
And
kind of
Headspace, yeah.
That's a good
yeah,
one. Yeah,
yeah.
that's a good one.
And there's some that are now even coming out where um, keeps track of how much time you are meditating and things like that. So
Yeah.
um,
Yeah.
you know, and then we're getting, God, the hour went by so freaking fast.
Oh, it did, eh?
Oh, wow.
Debbie said, "Let's talk about the future. We will have self-driven electric wheelchairs like our city buses here that are navigated through the navigated on a phone app. Here in Austin, Musk, Tesla on Wheelchair X later this year. Yeah, I don't know much about that. And here's just the thought of driving your wheelchair with your app. I'm just going. You're looking down to drive, and then looking up and looking. You'd almost have to be right there. I'd be interested to find out more about that. I'll have to look that up, Debbie. So, uh, yeah, a little bit of curiosity there. And then Nicole, hopefully you're typing that in about your class coming up, and maybe get some more participants
Yeah.
because we got to wrap up here. And Robert,
Yep. There's just before we go into the sponsors, there's also Block Life, BLOC Life, and Project Awaken. They're sites that offer tailored advice for wheelchair users, including tips on managing pressure sores, bowel health, and energy levels. So that is all part of the lifestyle tools and creating a healthy habit. So there's things like that are out there. And like I said, we probably we threw a lot of stuff out there, and I was mostly interested in the watch stuff today that I want to learn how I can get the most out of a watch and you use it for what my specific needs are. So I do like that customization piece where you can get some apps with where you can customize certain things.
yeah.
Yeah.
because but anyway, so yeah, it's gone fast. So let's thank our sponsors, Mobility Professionals and Urology Professionals. Mobility Professional services the Southern California region. So contact them if you are in need of a wheelchair or any other DME equipment. Their sister company, Urology Professionals, can help you with your catheter needs, and they service nationally. So wherever you're at in the good old US of A and in need of urology supplies, give them a call. Urology Professionals, good people.
Yep, absolutely. Um, anything else, guys, that you saw?
Man, there's a lot. You know what? I just encourage everybody to just get out there
Yeah,
and just start. I mean, it's endless. It's really endless, and you figure there's new stuff they're developing every day. You know,
Great. Yeah.
yeah,
Pretty cool.
and yeah, Debbie, I've heard of the quantum. That uh, those those people behind you that are helping somebody drive a power chair. Definitely, that I've seen that and I've heard about it too. That's pretty cool. But the last thing I wanted to say is before we go that a couple of these that I'm going to get to Shawn so he can put them up. So if you get back with us a little bit later and or go back to the show and you can look up a couple of the ones that we talked about and we'll have a link there. And maybe in what, 4 or 5 months, if you've switched over or using these now for what we talked about, let us know and we'll do a show on that.
yeah. Just give us updates too periodically. Just check
Yeah.
in with the
Mhm.
sites,
And I
we'll
think for
kind
the
of
next show, about kind of more what Debbie was talking about, more of the assistive technology stuff,
yeah,
unlocking your door, turning on your TV. I know it's out there.
Yeah.
A lot of people use it through Alexis,
yeah, yeah.
but it's something that we can talk about how to, you know, of these devices that we have through your watch and your phone. We're going to talk about that more in 2 weeks, and uh, definitely reach out to us. I'm at Robert Rohan, and Paul, what's yours?
For my Instagram.
Yeah.
Oh, you always ask me that,
Okay.
man.
You can reach out to me at Robert Rohan
Yeah, Robert Rohan,
and,
or just live to roll.
message me.
Oh, yeah.
Message me any devices that you use for your assistive technology. The one that I need to start looking into, I want to control my fan, my ceiling fan. I just, lately.
Oh, my neighbor's got one of those. It works really well.
Okay, yeah, I want, give me the name brand and stuff like that. We'll
Yeah.
talk about it because I'm sick of this. I got a remote one for mine. Great, everything's great. Half the time the battery's dead. Half the time, I'm trying to point it at the right angle.
Yeah.
It would be nice.
I am a Alexa. I have everything Alexa, man. I don't have to move. I don't have to open my eyes. I just say, Alexa, what time is it?
Uh,
I tell you, I got into that, and it just makes it more convenient for me too, as well as like, because like for me, I don't want, I'm a para and stuff like that, but I don't want to be transferring once I'm in bed. I'm there to stay, and then to have to transfer out and go do this. I forgot to turn off this, and I got my whole house wired.
mhm. Yeah,
I'm at PRG 567.
PRG 5.
PRG 567.
Yeah.
Or you can just look up my name, Paul Gustafson.
Well, cool. Well, I hope you guys got something out of it today.
Yeah.
Uh,
Kind of we're weaving in and out of all this stuff, and there's a lot of information was
Oh,
thrown at you.
yeah, and
But like I said,
the biggest thing, and it's so funny sometimes, and I'll just say,
it's out there.
it is out there if you really take the time to do your homework. Because I get asked so many times about like, where can I find out more information on, on being more healthy? It's like, are you really?
Yeah.
Or where exercising uses on for my biceps or shoulders or whatever, and I'm just like, go to YouTube. It's
Yeah.
so much is on YouTube and so much is on the web, and it's all about the oh god, drawing a blank. So about the what's that called, the words that you put in. what's that?
Yeah, your search words that you're putting out there, and the thing is, because it's actually easy to do that. You're just going to be inundated with all the information they give back at you, especially with AI now. You ask AI, like if you have Copilot or any of those, man, you put stuff out there, and the way you word there, they'll give you a list of everything, man. I mean, an endless list.
And
Just
Debbie talked about, how, and we'll talk about that in 2 weeks.
yeah,
So make sure you join us in 2 weeks. We're going to be back. Every Tuesday we're here. Also at 3:30, I'm with Shawn. Hopefully we're going to have Tom back pretty, real soon. And then also we have our ladies coming up next week. Wheel Girl Talk. Brianna and her posse is going to be with them. So that's next week, and then we're the week after again. So join us. We're here every other Thursday. Thank you enough for all the likes and the comments and all that good stuff.
All right.
Good to see everybody in the chat today,
Yep.
too.
Live to roll.
Stay safe
let's roll
out there.
ahead.
Stay cool now that it's summer.
Yeah.
Later, everyone.
See ya.